You're watching Big Bang with me, Shruti. While unseasonal rains brought in much-needed relief for Bengalurians in the recent past, today unexpected rains suddenly wreaked havoc in Namma city. Rains combined with hailstones and gusty winds seem to have damaged property all across the city, but luckily there was no loss of life. A tree landed atop a car at Minerva Circle, totaling in the process and halting traffic. At Narayan Swami Nagar, an electric pole fell on the effect with the same result. Here, a man ended up injured and was rushed to a nearby hospital. A tree fell on a house in Girinagar. Well, traffic also came to a standstill near Hanumant Nagar and Baswangudi. While rains have brought in the much relief from the hot sun, rains have also wreaked havoc in many parts of the city. Trees came falling down. Many people were injured, however, there was no loss of life. Traffic came to a standstill. Rain gods brought traffic to a standstill. And well, not just because of waterlogging, the tree falling also caused a lot of traffic snarls in and around the city. Well, the unexpected rain suddenly wreaked havoc in our city. Rains combined with hailstorm and gusty winds seems to have damaged property all across the city. But luckily, there was no loss of life. Traffic came to a standstill, and not just that, a tree landed atop a car at Minerva Circle, totaling it in the process and halting traffic. And not just this place, at Narayan Swami Nagar also an electric pole fell on the effect with the same result. And in Narayan Swami Nagar, a man ended up injured and was rushed to a nearby hospital. And not just in Minerva Circle, a tree fell on a house in Girinagar, which brought traffic to a standstill. And well, traffic also came to a standstill in Hanumant Nagar and Baswangudi. Well, unexpected rains left a lot of pedestrians in the lurch. They were looking for shade to save themselves from the rain, and traffic also came to a standstill. The commuters, leaving the commuters very disturbed because of the rains. Well, TTMCs were supposed to help commuters and give office space in a crowded city, but these buildings have a danger lurking in them, which now threatens the health of anyone in the vicinity.
The Traffic Transit Management Centres, or the TTMCs, were touted to be one of the most ambitious projects of the Transport Department. The project was supposed to modernize key bus stands and also rent out space for offices and hence generate revenue. It was also supposed to avoid cluttering at major transport hubs and make public transport easily accessible and more organized. But now it has come to light that these TTMCs were built unscientifically with less or no regard to the set standards.
People who are using that as a bus stand, and you know it's a mixed complex. There is a commercial complex, there are government offices, and also there is a bus stand, and in some areas there is a part where they do repairs also. So people who are working there and who are using it as a bus stand were complaining severe weakness and headache. We felt that this could be because of the pollution there.
Following complaints of discomfort from commuters in some of the major bus depots in the city, the Pollution Control Board decided to check air pollution in the areas. In a shocking revelation, the report talks about a severe problem with the air quality at some of the TTMCs. And with TTMCs accommodating office spaces and commercial complexes, hundreds of people are exposed to the poisonous fumes all through the day.
We have taken a novel initiative on monitoring this air quality, ambient air quality in TTMCs. And we came out with the results that the dangerous or poisonous gas carbon monoxide is much more higher in the closed type of bus terms called TTMCs.
The report focuses on 3 TTMCs and the pollution levels in them. The Pollution Control Board tested for the levels of various poisonous gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone and carbon monoxide. While the rest were just within the permissible limit according to national standards, carbon monoxide was far from that. At the Shantinagar bus stand, the level of carbon monoxide was more than twice the permissible 2 milligrams per meter cube. The result was even worse when tested in April 30th of this year. It was a shocking 8.1 milligrams per meter cube, 4 times the permissible level. The BMTC depot in Yashwantpur had a steady level of carbon monoxide, which was twice the safe amount. The Basaveshwar Nagar complex was just over the permissible level at 2.2 milligrams per meter cube. Carbon monoxide is a dangerous gas and can lead to several respiratory illnesses. It could result in causing blue blood, and the lack of oxygen may also lead to unconsciousness.
Now, when someone is exposed to carbon monoxide, let's say over a period of over an hour or 2 or 3, what happens with high exposure to carbon monoxide?
Carbon monoxide it competes in all its activities with oxygen. Suppose you inhale, oxygen goes and sits with the hemoglobin and supplies oxygen to the whole body. In place of oxygen, this carbon monoxide will go and sit because it competes. It is even better attached. When it attaches, 3 things happen. One is that carbon monoxide remains with these blood circulation for longer time. Carbon monoxide breaks hemoglobin cells. It practically destroys blood system. Third is, since it competes with oxygen, it makes the body cells oxygen scarcity. They don't get sufficient oxygen. Because of this, slowly what happens is the people get giddiness, yawning, headache, and sometimes even unconsciousness, and even death is possible. We have seen, not that in bus stands people have fallen and died, but especially people with some heart disease, respiratory disease, where already they are in stress and problem. Carbon monoxide is a serious issue if it is concentrated and if it is in closed area. So why we have done this is, at least in future, when a bus stand architecture is being done, there has to be a sufficient place for ventilation and openness.
The Pollution Control Board has stated that this is because of the bus depots not being airy enough. The lack of ventilation and lighting in these buildings leads the exhaust gases from the buses to remain trapped, which is in turn inhaled by people. The high levels of carbon monoxide not only puts commuters' lives at risk, but might also have a devastating effect on the lives of the ones working in these buildings, and bus conductors and drivers who spend a lot of time at the transit points.
Firstly, this report by the Karnataka State Pollution Control Board saying that, carbon monoxide emissions are as high as around 400% more than the national standards in some of our TTMCs is shocking. And, this just shows how the TTMCs have been designed keeping not commuters in mind, but, raising revenues or to make BMTC profitable. The state government has given out a report in 2010 saying that, BMTC is not designed TTMCs properly and they're not serving the commuters. No action has been taken in the last 4 years on this report from the Directorate of Urban Land Transport.
It has been stated that BMTC's building plan of the new TTMCs in the last few years was an unscientific one, but no action was taken.
As a short-term measure, I think they need to install some fans or find some remedy for the pollution that is happening inside the TTMCs. But of course, we need to find a long-term solution also for the pollution, and that would be to change over to CNG, change over all buses to CNG and not diesel.
I believe the damage has already been done. It's extremely difficult to repair the damage and set things right. It is to see that further damage is not done. So how do you control that? What are the regulations that need to be in place? And in whose hands is it? Is the authority responsible been defined? and will they be held accountable?
The problems are magnified thanks to the unscientific design of these structures. At Delhi, the transport authorities help bring pollution levels down by switching over to CNG. Will the BMTC authorities wake up before it's too late? The shockingly high levels of poisonous gases in these areas, frequented by tens of thousands of bus commuters every single day, raises some serious questions on how safe these TTMCs really are. Will the BMTC answer these questions, or will they continue to pump in the state exchequer's money into these unscientific buildings? Bansi Kalappa, News 9, Bengaluru.
Well, if you have failed to follow the law when it comes to land acquisition or construction, be prepared to pay up. The government has given its nod for the Akrama Sakrama scheme. Authorities are now seeking the approval of the High Court to implement the scheme in Karnataka. Under the scheme, violations pertaining to setback, floor area ratio, non-conversion of agricultural land and formation of unauthorized layouts and sites under urban local bodies, including the BBMP, are eligible for regularization. According to officials in the Urban Development Authority, lakhs of properties could be regularized under the scheme in corporations governed under the Karnataka Municipal Corporation Act. And moving on, the inhabitants of 3 houses in Naginahalli on the outskirts of Bengaluru in Yelahanka were the unfortunate victims of a burglary. They had left for a holiday and returned this morning to find the houses ransacked and some of their precious belongings missing. From gold jewelry to some electric appliances, the thieves made away with goods worth over 10 lakh rupees. The houses are situated right next to each other, and it is suspected that thieves had kept a close watch on the houses and were waiting for the right time to strike. The cops have stated that all 3 homes were robbed in one night and suspect the involvement of people known to the victims. A case has been registered with the Yelahanka Satellite Town Police, who are investigating the matter. This is said to be the first time a theft of this level to have occurred in this area.